Hi everyone, this is Darren here, and this will be my third video on algebraic expansion. So, I'm going to start off now in this video. I'm going to do a bracket that has two terms multiplied by another bracket that has two terms and more. So please follow along, and if you have any questions, you can ask it in the comments below, and I'll be glad to answer them. So the first example, x plus 1, x plus 2. Okay, so this type of questions are actually quite common. So what we need to know is that when faced with this type of questions, we need to expand as such. What happens is that we realize that the x here has to be multiplied with this x and this 2, and the 1 here has to be multiplied with this x and this 2. So in a way, you can see that if this x multiplied by this, x multiplied by 2, 1 multiplied by x, 1 multiplied by 2, this will give us 4 terms. So if you have a 2 terms in the bracket multiplied by 2 terms in the bracket, it's in a way you can think about it as 2 times 2. So resultingly, you'll have 4 terms. Okay, and in that 4 terms that you have eventually, maybe you can simplify further, maybe you can't. We'll have to see. So one thing to take note is that, let's say if this was 3 terms in this first bracket, let's say a plus b plus c and then 1 plus 2. In this case, the answer will always have 6 terms in the answer, and then from there you simplify. Because 3 terms times 2 is 6. So here is 2 terms times 2, it will be 4 terms. So this knowledge is good, is because with this knowledge you can sometimes, like, you can go about saying, I've made an error. Because why? If after I expand on this and I get 3 terms, I realize I'm wrong. Why? Because I know that there should be 4 terms. So it's good to have this knowledge in the back of your mind. Anyway, moving on, I'll just go ahead and expand now. So x times x, this will give us x squared. X times 2 will give us 2x. 1 times x will give us plus x. 1 times 2 will give us 2. So, now looking at this, can we simplify it further? If you're observant, you will realize that x and x, yes, these two are the same terms, so therefore we can simplify them. We can simplify them because we can add them together. Hence, this will get to be x squared plus 3x plus 2, and this will be the final answer. Okay, let's move on to the second example. Okay, so let's say now we had x plus 2y and 3 minus x. So recall, the x is to multiply by this 3, and this minus x, and 2y goes to this and this. And there's 2 terms in this bracket and 2 terms in this bracket. There will be 4 terms in your answer, in your next step. So now you go about expanding it, you'll get x times 3, you get 3x, x times negative x will give us negative x squared. Be very careful with the negative sign, because when a positive sign, here's a positive x multiplied by a negative x, you get a negative x squared. So now 2y over here, 2y multiplied by 3 gives us 6y. 2y multiplied by negative x gives us minus 2xy. Okay, so we got our 4-term solution, and now can we simplify this any further? Let's take a look. We realize that all of them are different terms, hence we can't simplify it further. So this would be the final answer for expanding this question. Next, how if it's more complicated? If there were 3 terms in the left bracket and 2 terms in the right bracket, how do we attempt to do these questions? Let's see. X plus 3y plus 2 times x plus y. Okay, so recall what I told you in the first example. If there was a 2 terms in the bracket and a 2 terms here, it'll be 4. you have 4 terms in the solution. Here we have 3 terms times 2 terms, so therefore we have 6 terms in our solution. So now let's go about doing it. How do we do it? Is that the x, we can actually do it 2 ways, so I think I prefer doing it pointing from this direction. So the x here will multiply with this x, this 3y, this 2, and this y will multiply with this, this, and this. So what happens is that we'll get the first one, x squared plus 3yx plus 2x, and then plus y, right? So y times x will be plus yx plus 3y squared, plus n, okay, let me redo this, plus 3y squared n plus 2y, so plus 2y. It's a bit cramped, but in the next step here we'll have enough space, so just follow along. So the next step here, we have to simplify these 6 terms. Let's see what are the common terms that we have. Actually it's only one, so just this and this, because these two have the same terms and the same power, so we can join them together through addition. Hence the final answer will be x squared plus 4yx, because 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 2x plus 2y plus 3y squared. So this would be the final answer, and we have expanded this, what looks like a very long and complicated 3 times 2 term brackets. So let's move on. Let's say again we are doing 3 terms times 2 terms, and this time we have negative signs involved. It gets tricky, but it can be done. So we just have to be very careful. So let's see. Now let's say we have x minus 3y minus 7 and x minus 2. So I'm not going to write the arrows now, because I believe that you can see them by yourself. In the exams, do not use the arrows in your working, that is just for me to teach you. But what you need to do is, now you can follow along as the example I'm going to about to show you. So what you have to do is that the arrows, when you multiply, are going to be in your head. So now, without the arrows, you can still follow. So x times x. So this will give us x squared. Minus 3y times x will give us minus 3yx. Minus 7 times x, minus 7x. And then x times minus 2, minus 2x. Minus 3y times negative 2 plus, right? Plus, because negative times negative will give us plus, positive number. So this will be plus 6y. And same thing here, negative times negative will give us 14. Now look, let's check. Do we have 6 terms here? Yes, we do. We have 6 terms, and this is correct, because a 3 term in the bracket times 2 terms in the brackets gives us 6 terms. So we are on the right track. Okay, now let's see. Can we simplify anything? Yes, we can only simplify one thing, these two here, because these two are x. They have the same unknown at the same powers, right? Because both are x to the power of 1, x to the power of 1. So now we simplify as such: x squared minus 3yx minus 9x plus 6y plus 14. Okay, so this will be the final example, the final answer. Okay, so moving on to the last example in this video. Let's say we are having a question where we are multiplying terms in the bracket and terms outside the brackets. So what I mean is 3 times y plus 2 and x minus 3. Okay, so this is quite tricky, because what happens is that there are brackets and there are numbers outside the bracket. So in this case, we have to look at bottomers and realize that this bracket times this bracket will have to go first. So therefore, what we should do is 3, we should just write down the 3 and put a big bracket, and inside this big bracket we put the answer to this times this. So there'll be 4 terms here, right? Because 2 terms times 2 terms gives us 4 terms. Then only later on we incorporate the 3. So that's how this question should be done. So straight off we get xy and then plus 2x, 2 times x gives us 2x. Y, minus 3 times y gives us minus 3y, and minus 3 times 2 gives us negative 6. So this would be the expanded answer for these 2 brackets. So we have reduced it to 1 bracket. And now finally, we have to incorporate the 3. So incorporate the 3 simply by multiplying by 3 throughout each 4 terms. So we still get 4 terms because in a way, this 1 term times 4 terms will give us 4 terms still, because 1 times 4 is 4. So this will get us 3xy plus 6x minus 9y and minus 18. So this is the final answer. So this was the last example, but before I end the video, I would like to just tweak this example a bit and show you one common error I have seen that a lot of students get confused on quite easily, I would say. Okay, so example now, if this 3 was instead maybe a 4, and this 4 was in a bracket, okay? So what happens is, we go from left to right now, right? Because they're all brackets, so they're having the same priority. So we multiply 4 with 4y plus 2. So 4y plus 2, so 4 times y gives us 4y. 4 times 2 gives us 8, so 4y plus 8. And then bracket x minus 3. Okay, so you see, I've actually done a mistake on purpose. Because what happens is, a lot of the times when people multiply this, sometimes they leave the bracket out here. There should be brackets here. The brackets has not gone away yet by right, because you still have to multiply these 2 with this. But sometimes a common mistake is they do this. And if you do this, you see what happens is now the 8 gets multiplied by the x and 3 minus 3, whereas the 4y stays the same. And this is not right. It's not how it should be done. So let's take note in examples like this to leave the bracket on. Okay, so this is the right way. So let me just finish off this question, and this would give us 4yx minus 12y plus 8x minus 24. So this will be the final answer because we can't simplify it any further. So I hope that you don't get too confused by this expansion, and if you did, you can always watch and rewind the video. But please always be very, especially pay more attention in class when it comes to algebra, because this will be so important in your future years and in the O-level paper finally. So I hope that you did enjoy the video, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.